Hello everyone. Welcome to an informative session on today's topic, mainframe modernization made easy. I'll be your host. Uh, Before we begin with today's session, some of the ground rule for smoother experience. Uh, we will go through this webinar as per the agenda defined. So in between, if you have any questions, feel free to write to us on the chat window. And there will be a dedicated slot for Q&A at the end of this session. And in between, if you have anything to discuss and talk to us, you can also email us info@royalsabir.com. And let us quickly get into this webinar. So today's topic is mainframe modernization made easy. We both are the speakers. Myself, Vijayalakshmi, practice at managing mainframe practice at Royal Saber. And along with me, I have our partner, uh, Rani, who is our technology partner, and who will be taking a little more deep dive into our solutions today. And we both are the speakers for the today's session. And agenda for this webinar is we will be describing few just in brief about Royal Cyber, our mainframe practice, whatever the solution we have, and along with our technology partner, the solutions, whatever we are going to discuss today is Kobee, and there will be a live demo on the same. And at the end, we will have the Q&A slot to discuss the queries from the participants. Regarding Royal Saber, we are almost 2 decades, years of experience into IT service and IT consulting, and predominantly a digital transformation company specializing on predominantly solutions. And we are almost 2,500 plus employees across the globe, and 500 plus certified consultant, and almost offices at 10 plus different countries, and which spread across 5 different continents. And almost we have technology partners like IBM, Microsoft, Rocket, Kobee, Modern System, Heirlooms, Broadcom. So these are all our mainframe specific technology partner. And our global presence is we headquarters with USA, Chicago. And we have other locations in Canada, USA, Australia, Mexico, South Africa, UK. And biggest offshore delivery center is in India. In India, we are Chennai, Bangalore, Pune, Hyderabad, Noida. So these are all our global presence, and they are all our technology partners. Regarding mainframe practice, within mainframe practice, we have 4 different verticals where we predominantly focus on mainframe infrastructure management. We will provide our infrastructure support on ZOS, system programming, ZVM, CICS, DB2, and security. All these areas we do infrastructure support. And the application platform where we work with some kind of an application performance tooling, automations, and service connect for API integrations. And modernization front, we work with exclusively Z DevOps tool, IDZ, ADDI, DBB, UCD, WASI at service, and container extensions, etc. And we are also getting into our strong footprint on ALOps, ZALOps, which is operation and data analytics, and Z Linux one areas. And here are some of the customers to whom we are working with, the current ongoing and the previous projects. So this is regarding our mainframe practice. And as a center of excellence, we continuously come out, evolve with the various plugins and solutions and assets which will support our customers to provide the value add with whatever the solution services we provide. So in a way, there are some tools. This is a recent tool last. So this is our recent tools, which is predominantly on modernization, migration area. So we have a legacy modernization SCM tool. We have our own solutions, which is customized application, which will automatically migrate application from Endeavor to any kind of a modern tooling with GitLab, Bitbucket. And we also have an our partner, along with our partner, we have a Kobee, which also does automated migrations, which we're going to see in detail. We also have a Z DevOps solutions for any kind of future solutions, state architecture, whatever the customer defined. And the modern deployment with UCD integrations, custom code review rules, meaning we can come out or we already define some domain-specific custom rules for our banking customers. The password reset application, which is web-enabled application for mainframe applications, and any kind of an automated migrations from Micro Focus Cobalt, and also we have our own internal middleware monitoring tool, which is Monitor Pro, which does monitoring of IAB and data power, MQ and IAB data power kind of things. So these are our core strength on the solution footprint, and we also have we're going to come up with shortly with the other solutioning as well. And without further delay, I like to pass on to this to our partner who is ready, who will be taking deep dive into the tool named Kobee, which is going to test and mainframe modernization. And thank you so much for your time. Again, I will be connecting with you at the end. Over to you, Renee. Yeah, thanks for your time, first of all. And over to you. Please take it forward. Thank you.
Hello. First of all, dear Vijaya, thank you. It is fantastic to have such a great partner as Rural Cyber, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to have this webinar together. First, our vision. For IKAN, enterprises are in demand of insights and control over their software development and deployment processes. Why? After all, insights and control will allow them to benefit from improved cost and risk efficiency, enhanced time to market, and more satisfied customers. What is our mission? Together, and together we mean Rural Cyber and you as a customer, you will define the desired development and deployment processes. Next, Rural Cyber and you will orchestrate these processes in Kobee, our web-based and open framework, addressing legacy and future. As a result, you will benefit from a standardized, proven, documented, auditable, repeatable, and sustainable process. Why? We have a partner model. Our partners are key. They do the implementation, and we as IKAN, we can concentrate on our solution, and we don't compete with our partners. Of course, we are available if needed. Our value proposition. IKAN gives you Kobee as a platform, and on top of Kobee, a CI/CD solution for IBM Z. It is that combination that makes our offer unique. Yes, there are many excellent CI/CD solutions on the market today offering build and deploy facilities, but do they understand and cover mainframes? We don't think so. Kobee offers an off-the-shelf solution that adapts itself to your environment, that helps you to manage your risks, your cost, your quality, and enhances the time to market. Besides CI/CD for IBM mainframes, it also offers integration with third-party tools like Jira, Git, testing tools, and more. Kobee, our framework and IBM Z solution. Although Kobee is a general-purpose CI/CD solution that can manage any environment, going from C to Java or COBOL, today we will focus on our IBM Z solution. Here you see the Gartner DevOps representation. Important for us is to understand that you are unique, that every customer is unique. It is your process, your stakeholders, your tool chain, your orchestration, and your culture. With Kobee, we adapt us to your way of working and to your standards, not the other way around. This is an important slide. Here you have an overview on how the solution possibly works. In the left down corner, you have the developer with the ID of his choice. Here we have IBM IDZ, but you can also have VS Code or any Eclipse-based IDE, or even a 3270 terminal. Important is that the developer feels himself comfortable with his environment and or that he follows the company standards. On the top left corner, you also see the link to issue tracking. In our demo, we will use Jira. Key for us is that the developer commits his code into Git or Subversion. When he commits, he can also add ticket numbers into the Git or SVN command, and you'll see how Kobee syncs these with the ITS system. Once the code is committed, Kobee comes into action. In Kobee itself, you will define your projects, package or release base, with your desired lifecycle and actions, and in every level, the desired actions. By example, in the build or compile step, you retrieve the code from the VCR, eventually you run one or more custom phases, you do the build, you archive the build result, and you update your ITS tracking system. These levels can be mandatory or optional. Level requests can also be approved based. So finally, you will obtain build and deploy processes that are standardized, repeatable, documented, auditable, sustainable. We support both waterfall and agile. Compiles and deploys can happen on the mainframe itself, on the Linux system, Windows, or in the cloud. As such, you will obtain a cost-effective, risk-efficient, guaranteed quality and security checks, and you will have an enhanced time to market. One of the Kobee features that it integrates with IBM WASI, so the IBM mainframe cloud solution that you can use for development and test. And finally, it integrates with your RealZ to run your production. That, if you would like to do so, can also be used for your development and test environments. Next, the Kobee architecture. Kobee runs on a Tomcat server. It needs a database, MySQL, Postgres, DB2, Oracle SQL Server as a repository, and can be used through the web interface, the command line, or REST API. Kobee has also a server agent architecture. You can have one server or a server with agents. You can have an agent for your development, for your test, acceptance, and production, or in the Z context, an agent for each LPAR. Kobee can be linked to ITS systems like Jira, GitHub, Azure, TFS, and more, and has several VCR options, as you can see at the left and the right in the middle of the screen. Important to know, Kobee does not run on IBM Z. It just needs an FTP or REST connection to communicate with the Z system. As Jenkins is the best known CI/CD system, we like to explain what the differences are. Yeah? Core differences, Kobee enforces the industry standards. Yeah? Kobee is very user-friendly, and you don't need CI/CD knowledge. It's well documented. It does not depend on, let's say, the plugins that you use to see if they are well or not well documented. It's easy to customize, so it does not require programming skills. By default, you have the version control repos, the integrations, no plugin needed for that. Default issue tracking systems integrations. It also has a unique workspace for each build and an automatic cleanup. Where in Jenkins, you have one single workspace for all the builds, and there is a manual cleanup. Kobee comes with approval management, user notifications as standard features. It has build archiving, build history, and this goes, let's say, over all systems, so it does not require plugins, and it also works if pipelines are changed, what is not the case in Jenkins. We can work package and release based, and we have the project dependency feature. It integrates in a standard way with operational security systems, no plugins required. Phases are reusable, parameter driven. In Jenkins, we have scripts per pipeline, and they are not reusable without modification. Then specific for Z systems, we have the audit and impact analysis features that I will explain later. So I said one of the key elements of Kobee are the phases. A phase is nothing else but a package, build, or deploy script. Phases are predefined and parameter driven. As a user, you just need to define the parameters. Good to know is that Kobee parameters can be defined in a hierarchical way. At the Kobee machine level, at the build or deploy environment, be it build, test, acceptance, production, and at the phase level itself. Kobee has three types of phases. You have the core phases for the core functionality. These are developed and maintained by us and cannot be changed by a user. Examples are VCR code retrieval, code tagging, issue tracking integration. Next, we have the solution phases. Solution phases are developed by us or by a partner and they are not only developed, but also maintained and supported by us. Examples are IBM Z phases and the Oracle Data Integrator phases. Then you have the user-defined custom phase. These can be developed by yourself, us, or a partner, but they are finally maintained by yourself. So you can, by example, write your own phases for database updates, third-party tool integrations. So how does Kobee work? We have three fundamental building blocks. We have the phases, pipelines, the models, and the resources. The phases are the package scripts, and we'll call the necessary builds, compile, and deploy models, and we'll replace the model parameters with the values the customer defined in the Kobee resource code editor. Examples of such parameters: PDS naming conventions, return codes, compile options, FTP parameters. Here is an example on how Kobee works. So first, Kobee reads the source objects from the version control repository. Next, it will scan the objects or parse the objects to see what language it is. Is it COBOL, PL1, assembler, or something else? If DB2 or CICS are used, and finally, it will store all that info in a property file. In the next step, that property file is used to see what GCL cards are needed from the Kobee GCL card library. As a last step, it will replace the GCL variables parameters with the correct values as defined by you, the customer, in the Kobee resource editor. Here is an example of a resource file for a CSS precompile and the related GCL card for a CSS precompile and the final merge result. I give you a few seconds to have a look at it. Okay. Although Kobee has many nice features, here are two important ones. First, the option to work package-based. And you can group packages in a package group. So you can have several packages bundled together. Second is the dependency option. The project dependency functionality makes it possible to reuse common libraries or sources from child projects. Projects can be reused in two ways: as a build result retrieved from the build archive, or as sources retrieved from the versioning system. Example: suppose you are using the IBM Watson Code Assistant for Z, and you have finally COBOL and Java programs. With the dependency option, you can have COBOL developers working in their corner and the Java developers working in their corner, totally independent from each other. But by using the dependency option, so if a dependency is defined, both projects will travel together through the lifecycle. What Kobee also has, many companies have legacy systems like Changeman, Endeavor, ISPW, or PanValid, or other. Kobee comes with utilities that help you to migrate the source code from these legacy systems to Git or Subversion. And you can also go the other way around from Git or Subversion to a PDS system. An extra feature is the impact analysis. It updates and keeps a table with a number of relations. Example: what COBOL or PL1 or assembler or XML programs use a specific copybook? What programs use a specific subroutine? What programs are used in GCL or PROC? What datasets names are used in a GCL or PROC? Here you see an example of a report. Again, we also have a reporting module, and impact analysis makes use of this, these reports, and you can customize, adapt these reports to your own needs or the things that you would like to have in a report. Other feature is the audit. Audit uses the impact analysis table and helps to identify and fix out of sync situations. By example, copybooks that have been changed after a source project has been compiled, or source projects that needs to be recompiled due to a copybook change. What dataset names are used in a GCL or PROC? And last but not least, there is also an auto-resolve option. So if you see something that is out of sync, it will automatically, let's say, recompile, by example, the program. Here is an example of the audit return codes. By example, the code 12, there are issues found and there is a user action required. So by example, package sources or load modules have to be reloaded or delete it. Yeah? And Kobee, you can enforce it, or you can say, okay, I don't take it into account. You can say, by example, when you start with a new journey, you say, okay, all audits will fail. Let's do it step by step and make it more severe over time. IKAN is an IBM Silver partner. With this slide, we try to explain, show a number of possible scenarios and IBM products that you can use and that can be integrated in Kobee. So first you can start with Analyze, and you can use the ADDI or the WASI analyzer for that. Then we have the ID for the developer, IDZ, VS Code, your choice, with DBB, dependency-based build, or the Watson Code Assistant for Z integrated. That's for the developer. Next important one is the VCR, the version control repository, be it Git or Subversion. And that's also the starting point for Kobee. So what happens before? Of course, we take it into account, but we don't do it. It's the developer that does the work before that. Next is then for the build and deployment, Kobee. Kobee can do everything, or you can extend Kobee with, by example, phases for IBM testing tools. Or you can say for deployment, I don't want to use the deploy of Kobee, I want to use the WASI deploy. That's all possible to do. So what are the components? So what you need is, let's say, an ID, your development environment, and this can be IDZ with the IBM Watson Code Assistant, dependency-based build, debug for ZOS, whatever you would like to use. Next component, the Git version control repository. And then, of course, you need an environment for development, testing, and production. Here we have WASI as a virtual mainframe machine where you can do development and testing. And finally, you will run your production on the real Z. Kobee for orchestration. Kobee will do all the build compile work and will take care of the deployment to test acceptance and production environments. And let's say as components of these orchestration functions, you can use IBM products or you can use testing deploy tools of your choice. Then in order to connect with your Z system, you need an FTP or let's say the REST API from Z. But finally, what are the prerequisites to have DevOps CI/CD for the mainframe? In our opinion, it's simple and easy. You just need Kobee, of course, together with the mainframe phases, if you would like to use the off-the-shelf solution, and a Git or Subversion repository. Some use cases. First use case. This was a customer that had two sites with Visam Assembler, with Panvalet and Panapt for SEM. Today, they migrated all their sources from Panvalet to Git. They replaced Panap with Kobee for the build and deploy actions. Also, integration with Jira is implemented here. Finally, they are managing two sites, one US-based, one Euro-based. This took them less than 6 months from decision to implementation. Second use case, one site with DB2, Visam, Cobol, CSS, Data State, Changeman, and other products. And they wanted to get rid or replace Changeman, and they wanted to manage not just ZOS, DB2, Cobol, CS, but also migrate to Linux Oracle Tuxedo environment. Today, they have one solution where Kobee manages both the mainframe and Linux and the Windows environments. And they use the mainframe, let's say the dependency management solution to sync the mainframe and the Linux environments. A quote from that customer, our goal was to have one product that managed the whole build and deploy process for all the platforms we used to deliver our IT services. Replacing Changeman with Kobee saved more than 2/3 on software maintenance costs. It reduced the number of people in charge of monitoring the Changeman's activities from 2 to 1, and even an external consultant was no longer needed. Third use case, they had two sites, one with IDMS Ads Online, Cobol, Homemade, SEM, and a second one with Datacom, PL1, Changeman. So this was, let's say, the result of the merger of two insurance companies. Today, they use one solution. being Kobee, that manages both the IDMS environment and the Datacom environment, and have a lot of reuse because they have now everything integrated in one solution. Customer quote: Kobee allowed us to modernize our mainframe development as we wanted to use an Eclipse-based development environment and needed to have a compatible lifecycle management solution to replace our current mainframe-only version control software. Kobee allowed us to interface with the mainframe and has extensive customization possibilities. Okay, next is the demo that we will give. But here you also see a link to a PDF document that explains how you can, let's say, set up a Kobee installation yourself. So I will try to open this. So you see here the document that you can use to go through a setup yourself with the different steps. But now we will go to the demo. Okay. So here the demo environment, we start with our VS Code. We have here a number of programs. So in the workspace, I will have here a batch program, make some stupid changes, save it, do it for a second program. Save it, and also CICS. So we do it simple, just for sake of demo. So I made some changes. So the next step that I need to do once I've done my work is to put a comment in, and I will here give some and then I will not just commit, but also push. So I made 3 changes, and they are now, let's say, commit to Git. Then I go to Kobee, I log on. And first I will show you here my package. So here I would see my branch with the programs that I selected to be part of this package. So the 3 programs that I changed. Okay. Then I can go back to the desktop, and I say here action best build. So now you see it's running, but I will show you what the final result will be. So this is a former build, but you see here the summary. It will give you the build number. It was a requested build based on the latest code, when it started and how long it took to run. Then we have the phase logs. So when I look, by example, here at the build step, by compilation, feel, let's say, a log, and I can also, if I would like to do so, download the log to have more details. Also the phase parameters used here that I have. And once this is over, I will see the results. So the copybook used, compile listings, load modules for CICS, and then the sources that I have also here. There are no approvals in the build. Issues, I added 1 and 2, but eventually I can also add a 3rd one. Create it. Now I can sync it because it already exists, and if I click on it, it will open for me Jira, so I can see sorry, what this issue is about. Plus, I can also go back from here, say to Kobee, if I would like to do so. Then we have the sources used. So I have here modifications, if any, because I also can do a recompile, but I changed these 3 programs, and there are no dependencies here. So let's go back to the desktop. Still running. See how far we are. Yeah, it's doing the compile. Impact analysis. Take a few seconds. Yeah, it's done. Reason why we have here the red color is that I did put in what we call debug mode. So you can see here cleanup when I open this to say warning, cleanup because of enabling debugging on the environment. So once you're sure that everything works fine, you can, let's say, put the debug mode off. Then next step is deploy to tests. And then I have here, I can redeploy what is currently in test, or I can redeploy the latest one, or if I have a number of, let's say, builds ready, I can have a whole list of builds and I can select the one I would like to deploy. Here we will take the latest, create. See, it's also running, so this will also take some time, but in the meantime, I will show you the global admin. So this is for the administrator. This is not for a standard user, but just to show you how it works. If here the version control repository connection, this is what you need to define. And then you can actually test it, see connection works, and you can see the projects connected to that Git repository. Same goes for the issue tracking via my Jira in the cloud. And I can also here test if my connection works. Also here, I already told you about the machine parameters that are defined here. So they are used all over the machine, but can be overwritten at the environment level or at the phase level itself, if you would like to do so, of course. And then we have here, let's say, the phases. Take one of the mainframe. Then here you can see description of it and the parameters with the default values and description of the parameters. Next, we have the project administration. If we take our demo project, you see here again an overview. You can see here it's package-based and also the Git connection. So we start with a project stream. So project stream is linked to a branch. So for every branch you can have a project stream. And then you have the life cycles. You can have one or more life cycles. We have one here, say the base life cycle, where we have a build, test, and production level, and you can easily add additional test levels or production. By example, for test, you could say I have one environment for functional testing, performance, security testing, or you can do it in the one and the same, but that's up to you. We also have the notification facilities, where we have the pre and the post notify, and same for approval. We have the pre and post approval that you can set, and we'll see here for our production. We have here the pre-approve from the administrator. Here again, the levels that we have. So we have a build, test, and production level. And then when we look at the, I will take this. And you can see here's the standard phases that we have, or we can have a look at the deploy environment. Go to the test one. See here all the phases in the environment. And by example, if here debugger components to show you how parameters or one of the parameters works, I can here change the type I'm using. So not the expected, but by example, a band-aid smart test can do this. So this is a short overview on, let's say, the global and project admin. When I go back to my desktop, so this is finished. I now can deploy to prods. And here the same principle. This is currently in production. This is the latest build. Let's select this one, create. Now you will see I have here, let's say, awaiting a pre-approval. So normally you will receive an email or a text message saying there's an awaiting pre-approval. I go to the approvals, outstanding, and I have here two options. I can say I approve or I reject. So I approve, of course, here, say OK. Before I do this, I will show you something else. I have here my load lib. You don't see the two programs here. My batch programs are not here. So I do approve. And when I go back to my desktop, you'll see it's up and running. But in the meantime, I'll show you the resource configurator. There's some elements of it. By example, the models library. So here you see all the builds and of course also the different kinds of models that we have. Then go back here to the Kobee. So I have here the GCL cards that I have for my Kobee compile, and you see here the dollar, let's say condition code by example, parameters. So when I go back to my resource configurator and I see here my language properties, I go to Kobee. By example, when I go to the compile, the starter kicks, yeah, and you see here the step, sequence of the step where it has to go in the GCL modify that I just did show. Then here the variables that you have, like the return code that we set. Of course, we can make this bigger or lower. Okay, so when I go back to Kobee, still running. Okay, it's done. See the phase logs. Oh, and here you can see the three programs I have where they are promoted to. So when I go back to my system here, okay. See here, except 1, except 2 have been added. Sorry. Here my under load lib of my load CICS, I think. Here you see the CICS program. So that's a short overview on how Kobee works. And I hope I showed you how easy it is to set it up and to use it. So if any questions, I think it's the moment now to ask them. Thank you very much for your attention.